The old saying is that you never want to meet your idols, right? But completely contradicting that statement, I've always wanted to meet Dick Gregory. I've always wanted to be in the room with him and just chop it up with him and inadvertently say that wrong thing that makes him want to cuss you out. Whenever he be cussing people out in interviews or shows that he was on or whatever, it used to be the funniest stuff. But when you read the comments, a lot of people don't understand why. Oh, old black man, old grandpa just yelling at people. No, it's because you sound stupid. Your eyes are still closed and you're telling him how the game works when he's already lived through it. You know, it's like someone telling you that you didn't eat breakfast today and you know damn Skippy that you had eggs, bacon, and some orange juice. How you gonna tell me what is or what isn't? I lived through it, nigga. Like that's just what he used to do all the time. I used to love that shit because he used to be so funny. He used to be so funny. But one of the things that is so funny, so interesting about what he used to say was, it's a game. It's a game. And it is. We are living in the simulation. A video game is a simulated reality that you are navigating. You play your player and you operate with NPCs to eventually win the game, right? But the difference is, in that game, there's an end credits. In this game, there really isn't that. You get reborn and we can have different religious and spiritual beliefs of what happens at the end of that one. But nevertheless, you have to realize that there are games inside of games, inside of games, inside of games, inside of games. The first game that we have to live is school, our public education system, right? There's pre-kindergarten. Some of y'all didn't go to pre-K, but I went to pre-K, pre-kindergarten. Then once you beat that game, you go to kindergarten. Once you beat that game, elementary, middle, high school, college, postgraduate, right? Now, for some of us that didn't, make it through high school or whatever, that didn't play that game, you realize that that's just a game. You don't need it. You can skip all of school and get a GED. You can get a GED, go to college. Like, what are we talking about? But like every single game isn't meant for you to play. But these are the things that the boss, like the big bad guy at the end, they put these things in front of you. They put these obstacles. The big bad guy is Donkey Kong throwing barrels at you and you're Mario having to navigate through it. You see what I'm saying? It's a game. It's a game. School is a game because you think you won it. But you realize that you haven't even started playing the main game, which was your real life, because you've been getting 12 years, first grade through 12th grade, 12 years of indoctrination. They told you that Africa is the same size as every other continent. They told you that Africa is a poor continent. They call it a country in the continent, but they say that it's a poor continent. But yet all these so-called developed nations are in there extracting all these rare earth minerals from this poor continent. They told you that Gaddafi was a bad guy when he was liberating his people and he was trying to remove himself off of the fiat the fiat dollar. They don't tell you that in school. He was trying to get his country off of using the United States dollar as a reserve currency. He said, no, we're just going to trade with gold. And that's why they took him out and they told you he was a bad guy. They told you Hitler was just about exterminating the Jews. But you don't realize that Hitler was funded by the New York Stock Exchange. It's a game. And there's levels. Like in every other game, there's levels to this shit. A lot of people are just NPCs and bots that are just walking around doing what they're told without ever thinking for themselves. You don't realize the true game starts when you start to think for yourself. Because the Agent Smiths get activated when you start to wake up, Neo. When you start to wake up, that's when the game starts. You pressed play the second you started thinking for yourself. Wait, why can't 1 + 1 = 1? Who said 1 + 1 always have to equal 2? 1 + 1 man + 1 woman made 1 child. 1 + 1 = 1. Huh. Why can't I divide by 0? Who said 0 was a valueless number? If I put 0 after 1, it goes from 1 to 10. Would I rather have $1 or 10? If I add this valueless number 0 after 10, it becomes 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, billion, trillion, quadrillion. Wait, I thought 0 was valueless. How is it changing the value of something so greatly if it has 0 value? You see what happens? When I was making the semen retention videos, and I told the story before, when I was hanging with my dad and his older friends and stuff, 50-year-old men at the time. And I was like, yo, there's this practice called semen retention. And it's like, it's amazing. Like when you don't be busting those nuts and wasting your seminal fluid for no reason, and you're not exchanging it with a woman to either create life or create like some sex magic and stuff, like you feel powerful. Nah, bro, I can't live without my nut. I can't, nah, man, you crazy, bro. And that's one of the things they always do. Like smart people always seem dumb to dumb people. You see what I'm saying? And dumb people dumb people are smart to dumb people. You know, so when you escape from the crowd, when you're no longer NPC, when you finally put in your token and you start playing the game for real, you realize that first you have to fight your own people. You have to fight your own family, your own friends, your own community. But then when you get too high up to the levels, that's when the bosses change. Like, you know, in the video game, when you start off killing like the cute little pink pigs, the little elf, the level 2 goblins, and it's like, it's all fun, it's all playful. But then, you know, when you get into the real shit, when the background gets dark, you're dealing with like the lava and the fire temples, you know what I'm saying? Like the bosses are all like 12 feet tall. They all got some crazy ass magic spells that you gotta navigate. You see what I'm saying? In racing games, you start off racing the dude in the Honda Accord, but then when you keep playing the game, you're now racing the F1 cars. You see what I'm saying? It's like there's levels to this shit, and as you learn, as you grow, and you realize it's all a game, you stop being a victim of it, and you start saying, you know what? I'm gonna win this game. I'm gonna beat this game. I'm going to get to the end game credits. And then not only am I going to beat the game, I'm going to go back in and help people. This is kind of nerdy, but nevertheless, like, you know, in Elden Ring, there's a dude that wears like the underwear and the pot on his head. I know I'm getting really specific with that, but nevertheless, there's a guy that's so good at the game that he goes back and he helps people beat the hard bosses. That's what we are doing here, people. It's all a game. You just have to win it. Till the next one.